Hi, this is Mashno, and I want to show you a short game. It's only 17 moves, and the reason why I want to show you this game is because um, at the end there is a big question, and that is the result of the game correct or not? You see, when I was at the chess club last Wednesday, I played a game, and quite early in the game I won material, and at some point some people who were watching the game thought that my opponent should resign, and after the game they asked him, why didn't you resign, you were lost, and he replied a very interesting answer. My opponent said to them, nobody has ever saved a game by resigning. And that's true, of course. If you resign, there is no way back. And of course, there is also another part of this, and that is that sometimes it becomes a bit embarrassing if you keep playing while your position is completely lost. And there is a kind of, let's say, politeness of resigning and not playing on. But sometimes it's very difficult to draw this line. Where is the line when you decide to resign, and where is the line the other side that you think, well, I can still try something, and maybe I can try to find a hidden way of saving the game. And more or less this theme, this idea happens also in this game that I'm going to show you. This game was played a long time ago, very long time ago, in Berlin, 1907. Richard Teichmann is playing with the black pieces, the grandmaster, famous chess player, and he's playing against Theodor von Scheeve. I don't know if I pronounce his name correctly. But anyway, let's have a look at the game. It's a short game. e4, e5. We see this Italian game, also known as gioco piano, slow game. Queen to e7, castles, d6, and white plays d4. That's the idea of playing c3 to prepare d4. The bishop goes to b6, and now white plays a4, and black plays a6, a5 played by white, and now black doesn't take on a5. Teichmann decided to play bishop to a7. The reason for that is probably that he wants to keep his pieces directed to the center, to d4. So that's why he doesn't take knight takes a5, because he finds the center important. So bishop to a7, h3, knight f6, now d takes e5, and black retakes with the knight. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5, queen takes e5. And if we look now at the position, we see that a few things have changed. In the first place, we see that the queen side of white is undeveloped. And if we look at the black pieces, actually this bishop is pinning the f2 pawn. This one is directed towards h3. The queen is centralized, and this knight is well developed to its natural square f6. So black has a better position here, and what white did here is he played knight to d2 with the idea probably of going with the knight to f3, the most natural space square for the knight to be, to help the defense of h2, the square h2. But now black started dynamically an attack with bishop takes h3. G takes f3 was played, and now queen g3 check. So we see this theme of the pinned like that, pinned pawn on f2. So white has only one possible move, and that's king to h1. Now queen takes the pawn on h3, king g1, and black plays knight to g4. So black threatens, of course, mate in 1, queen to h2, and white, to prevent that, plays the knight to f3. White continues with queen to a g3 check, the king goes to h1, and now black plays bishop takes f2. And here the threat is, of course, queen h3 followed by queen takes h2. So queen h3, knight to f2, h2, then queen takes h2. And white didn't find any way to prevent this checkmate. So here white resigned. And there was a hidden way to save the game. When we meet this kind of positions that it looks as if we are completely lost, the last thing that we must do is to have again one more look at, for example, forcing moves. Is there a way to save the game? In this case, white could have saved the game, not by defending here around the king, but by attacking the black king with bishop takes f7. If the king takes on f7, then the queen goes to d5, giving check, king f8, queen f5, king g8, queen d5. So white has a perpetual check. There is no way of escaping from this. If the king would go to e7, then it's even worse, because then bishop g5 follows, and now it's white who is attacking this black king is such a strong way that it's black in big trouble. Now what happens if black doesn't take this bishop, but plays, for example, king to e7? Then again the bishop goes to g5, giving check, and if the king then goes to f8, bishop to f4 is the beautiful defensive move. Of course he sacrifices this piece. Queen can take the bishop, but then bishop to h5 saves the game by threatening to eliminate the attacker, the knight on g4. And because the queen has been brought now to f4, the threat that was before this check and then the checkmate on h2 is not there any longer. So by this hidden possibility of taking on f7 in this position, white could have saved the game, and instead of that white chose to resign, and this went into chess history as one of the missed possibilities to save a game. And in this case it would be correct to say that no one has ever saved a game by resigning. Alright, I hope you found this an interesting idea and you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Goodbye.